Okay, after you've downloaded and installed the Statarama Baseball program, you'll see this screen once you start up, the Kansas City Municipal Stadium screen, which is the default. And what you're going to want to do here is just set up a new game. So you go to Game Setup, New Game, and you'll come to the Load Visitor, Load Home Team. And when you click that, you can choose from the teams that you've downloaded. There's a number of them available on the website. I've got most of them in here, and so I'm going to select a couple of teams here that I've got set up. Cincinnati 75, KC 85. Then you come to the Set Pitchers Lineups. That takes you to the Player Data Form. Now in the Player Data Form you have your bench, your lineups, and your lineups will reflect how you have the data ordered in your CSV team file. And you have two grids for each team. You have the player grid and you have the pitchers grid. And down here you have the home player and pitchers grid. You can abort the game if you want to down here in the corner. At this point you could just abort and it would close. So if you select a pitcher, you'll notice here that it'll highlight that pitcher. And also a photo will appear if you have photos set up like the owner's manual says. The manual indicates how to set the photos up. Basically you have to have team name subfolders in the player photo folders. And they have to, those photo folders have to have the same name as the team. So it should say CIN 1975, and then in the team file your players' names have to be the same as the name of the picture that goes along with them. There are no photos and no logos included with Statarama Baseball, but there are scores and scores of photo packs and logos and things out there on the internet for baseball simulation. So you're going to drag and drop, in this case. Select the pitcher you want, and you're going to drag him to the mound. And the Kansas City pitcher, drag him to the mound. So it's Gary Nolan and Charlie Leibrandt. And then you close that box out, that form out, and you're here at the main screen. Now at this point there's several things you can do. You can go into the program options, so let's do that right now. And in the program options there are a number of things you can do. You can turn on the bat and glove sounds. When the ball hits the bat it makes a sound. When there's a walk or a strikeout it have a glove sound. You can turn the throw pitch and the ball flight animation off if you wish. You can show the player photos on the field if you're using photos. Player photos will show up. You can show the batter pitcher photo matchup right here in the middle of the screen, which are customized. We can move those around. I like to leave them right here in the middle. Adjust the back color of the labels for the home and visitor, and the font as well. So you can do that. Also, sticking ball means the ball stays on the screen after each play until you click the next batter up, or you can turn that off. The ball will vanish once it hits the ground or the player catches it. It's up to you. I like to see where my home runs land, so I leave this sticking ball on. Default all control positions. We'll put all of the control positions of this box score, the batting controls, the lineup over here, everything back in their default locations. Should you move them around or should you want to put them back where they were? There's a continuous autoplay function with a speed of 1 fast and 10 slow, from 1 to 10. You can select any inning that you want all the way to the end of the game. And you can play continuous, let the game play itself, either with the ball flight animation and throw pitch on or off, however you want to do it. You can resize the batter pitcher matchup photos, larger, smaller, with each click of the large small button here. Now adjusting parks. Now when you load a ballpark photo, before you set up a game or anything, which you can do with the load ballpark photo button, when you do that, then you'll see these markers. Now the markers tell you where the ball's going to go to. These are the ball flight markers. The red markers demarcate the outfield wall. They should be relatively, the bottom of the marker should touch the bottom of the wall on the outfield. White markers are normal home run. Pink markers are monster home run. green markers are normal fly balls, orange markers are short fly balls, and then the blue here are the third base, shortstop, second base, first base pop-up markers. And checking the move players button down here, we can move the players around on the screen, the base running labels and the defense labels and the catcher and the batter labels. In addition, we have foul poles. We can demarcate the left and right foul pole locations right here. And one of the most interesting tools, if you use your own ballparks, this cyan colored bar, the ideal park will reach from center field to home plate, essentially the length of this cyan bar. This one's almost perfect. And that's kind of what you want to do. You want your photos to closely approximate that distance. If it were to be 1/4 of an inch or 3/8 of an inch off, long or short, your park would work fine. As as you get farther and farther away from this ideal distance, you may find your results are a little bit strange, because the ball flight markers are designed to work within a certain constrained area from a certain particular perspective of a ballpark. The DX button actually is the target button. It flies around, and it actually, the program determines where that target goes, and then the ball actually will fly to that target. It's not visible during gameplay, but it is visible during the setup. Kind of gives you an idea of how the game algorithm works in this case. So those are the options. In essence, I've covered most of them that are available to you. So you can turn the markers back off. To start a game now, we're going to click next up. It says play ball here. That gives us an active lineup. You mouse over any player over here in our lineup, our batting order, and we can get their stats immediately. So those stats appear as you mouse over. Also, you can click anybody in the in this once the next up button is on, and it will launch the lineup. So if we go ahead and let Pete Rose take an at bat, there's a ground ball to the catcher. Johnny Bench, click on him, and it will immediately highlight Johnny Bench's data. And there's Johnny Bench's photo. If you're using photos, is right there. Or you can right click any defensive member. It will do the same thing. Willie Wilson right here. So you have the ability to select offense or defensive players. Now, right now the next up button hasn't been clicked, and so the next player up is going to be Johnny Bench. It's at this point that you would want to put in a pinch hitter or something. Once you click the batter into the box, Johnny Bench, well, he's got a bat now. You can't remove him. And so we pitch to Johnny Bench. Fly ball deep center field, left center field, way back, right in front of the warning track. And next up is Tony Perez. Another ground ball to catcher. Pretty uneventful. Willie Wilson struck him out. Shallow extreme left field. This would be left field to the left side of the label. The field is actually divided invisibly into very, very small slices of extreme left field, left center, center field left, with just left of center, center field right, right center, extreme right, and right field. And here we go. This is good. Now we demonstrate the home run. Frank White got all of that one, and that one is gone. And it's 1-0 KC 1985 over the 1975 World Champion Cincinnati Reds. If you want to, you can actually, like I mentioned, you can show the photos on the field as well. I prefer not to. You can also unlock the controls and move the controls around on screen. If you want to customize the layout for a game a little bit, you can do that. You can also right click and select all of the, you can highlight all this at the end of the game, and you can copy this text out here if you want the game. It will also save along with the stats report, which is where we're headed next. So right here we can see the stats report. Not much to report because we've only had a few batters, But if we go in here and run the game forward automatically a little bit, continuous play, turn the animation off, and let's run this to the top of the 4th inning, and it will automatically go. Now notice when I choose continuous autoplay, the stop button will appear up here below box stats. Of course, that's to stop the continuous autoplay if you want to stop it for some reason. And here we are at the top of the 4th. And you can, you know, the great thing about that is if you want to play a couple of teams and you run it all the way down to the top of the 9th, and it's tied 4-4, then you can play the last part of the game, you know, using the animation and yourself, where you can go in and you know, pinch hit and you know, switch pitchers and do things like that. And it's a lot of fun to do that in that particular way. So you can right click and we can go in here and you know, the player data form where we can you know, pinch hit for people. So we got Tony Perez here, so you know, we can go in here and we can take Tony Perez, and we would be able to replace Tony Perez. If we wanted somebody to bat for him, we could take Rettenmund and we could put Rettenmund into the first base position. And that alone would allow us to put Rettenmund out into the lineup. You can see Merv Rettenmund over here now on the lineup. And he strikes out. Probably not a good choice, switching Rettenmund for Tony Perez. You can see the end result of that was not good. But if we look at our box stats now, we have a complete set of stats. And here we have our pitchers right up here, and as you switch pitchers out, it will calculate the you know, a new pitcher. So if we want to go and let's put Billingham in for Nolan. Now we got Billingham. Here's Billingham's photo up here. Now we go to the box stats, we could see where Gary Nolan's 3 innings have been calculated up here. 2 strikeouts, a walk, 6 hits, you know, 3 home runs. So good thing we got Nolan out of there. And we could, the logos aren't set here like I mentioned. There's no logos along with the program. You can get those, you can install those. You can also save the game report as HTML, and it'll come out as an HTML grid. And when it comes out as a grid, you can actually highlight that grid and copy it and paste it directly into Excel or into a CSV file if you want to. So it's very versatile, the HTML grid, when these, and it'll look just like the report. It will save automatically a file for you when you open that. It assumes you're wanting to save something. But what you can do is you can paste those into Excel or you know, Excel file like I like to do. Then you can compile your own stats. You can tweak your own stats with Excel. You know, the automated programs do that for you. Some people like to be able to do it themselves, and I've always kind of liked both, but this program's written kind of gets away from that. It's really kind of, if you like the stats more and you like to do the compiling the stats and doing some rudimentary things yourself, nevertheless, it's just fun to play. You don't even have to save the stats if you don't want to. You can do pretty much anything you want in this game. You know, you can bunt, people on squeeze, steal bases, pretty much. You can hit and run, do pretty much anything that you want. One of the best features, the things that I like, is while you're waiting for somebody to bat here, so we got to pop up to shortstop, to Concepcion, and we can go in and we can change the ballpark layout during the game. So let's move this game to the Polo Grounds, and voila, there we are in the Polo Grounds. So now we can literally play half an inning in you know, a different park. We have enough parks, so we can switch now and go to Sportsman's Park in St. Louis and throw a few pitches in Sportsman's Park. And so what you do is you save your layout when you import photos. When you first start the program, you can load a ballpark photo Then you go in and you can set up your, make your field markers visible, set your markers in proper locations, and then go to game setup, save ballpark layout, and that will allow you to save that layout so that you can use it with any game and any teams. So the help file also accessible from this particular location. There's some frequently asked questions and some screenshots and other details that go along. There's a couple of fictional ballparks. There's a number of fictional ballparks I've posted out there. I like to build these in Google SketchUp. So here's an example of a fictional ballpark that somebody else built that I took in. I didn't build this one, but I have some available. This is one that I created in Google SketchUp. That's a fictional ballpark. So if you like to play fictional teams and draft players and stuff, you can do a lot of that manually, assembling these teams together and drafting players and assembling your own teams. You can do that at a lower level rather than have the automated button clicking things do it for you, which are nice. This just gives you another option. Other than that, if you're interested in doing it any more at a lower level way. There's not really much left other than the graphic mode, the no graphic mode. Now the no graphic mode is so new I don't even have it in the owner's manual yet. The no graphic mode is in essence where we get rid of the ballpark in the background, and the only thing that's emphasized are the player photos, the baseball card photos, if you're using baseball card or whatever types of photos you're using. So you'll have to load photos for that, or you're not going to have anything to really look at. So let's go into this. Now once we enter into that from a game or start a game from no graphic mode, you have to finish the game from no graphic mode. So now it's going to send us into no graphic mode. And you can see where the ballpark's gone. We do have a base runner indicator over here. And what we do now is we get instantaneous results, and we get our batter-pitcher matchup nice and big here. We can get it nice and big in the middle. We can resize these photos, of course. And then as we get somebody on base here, we just walk George Foster. Over here we have Lee Brandt as the responsible pitcher and Foster as the runner on base. So this, since we're not using labels that tell us who's on base, we're just using lighted indicators here. This gives us a way to tell us who's on base over here. And who the responsible pitcher is. So we change pitchers and we'll get a proper assignment of runs. Should somebody score and somebody else is responsible for that particular runner. The remaining features work kind of in the same way. There's really not much to it. It does the same thing. We can unlock our controls, and you can move a number of these items around if you want to place them in different locations. You can do that. You can still launch the player data form, replace players, change pitchers and whatnot. Still have access to pretty much everything. You'll notice there's no reason to load ballparks or do photos in this particular graphic mode. And so we can continue our game here. We can go in here and we can take this game as well to the top of the ninth if we want to, like continuous play. And there's no ball animation in this either. And now we're at the top of the ninth. So you can just manually finish out your game just by clicking through, and game over. Now in the game over, you can open the stats and you can look at the line score down here. 8-6 Kansas City. You can also, when you save your report, you can either print it if you wish to a PDF printer you might have installed or something. You can enter up to 110 characters here, and also it will save all of the dialogue. It will save all of this dialogue in here or in essence you can copy that dialogue there, and you can paste that into a notepad file or some other file. If you want to save that game dialogue, you can do that manually if you wish, but it will automatically save with the HTML report as well. So that's kind of the graphic mode right there, and there's you can't exit out of that and then you can close the game, and you can't exit that and go back into the ballpark. In fact, all you can really do is access the statistics in this particular form here once the game is over. The PayPal donate button is just a suggestion. There's absolutely no charge for this game. I wrote it to make it free, to give back to all the people who offered free mods and free logo packs and free photo packs and free things for statistical simulation games, the different ones that I like to play. I wanted to make sure that it was free so people could have something free and enjoy it like I've enjoyed the free mods and things that other people have provided me. In essence, a lot of my research I do baseball research as well. I have a PhD in human factors engineering, but I do research in baseball, and one of the things I wanted to do was test an algorithm that I had come up with that uses, in essence, baseball cards to generate the results, basically batting averages and ERAs to determine accuracy of those results with respect to real data. And that's kind of what this program reflects. This allowed me to test it in a game mode. So this is one of the ways that I've done that. So in the future you may see some of that pop up on my website, where I'll have some postings about how my algorithm might compare, and you'll definitely find that in a thing I'm writing. Tells about the program and why I did it. I have a little bit in there, but I wanted to give people something for free, and I wanted them to have something that they could enjoy, because they've given free stuff out there and made stuff, and a lot of hard work has gone into those things, I know, and I really appreciate it. And this is kind of my way of saying thank you. So I hope you enjoy this program. No need to donate. The donations I use to help pay for the website and to help keep my domain name registered and things like that. So I hope you enjoy the game. Support@statarama.com is the contact email, so you can contact me if you have any further questions, and I really hope you enjoy the game.